Yeah, slide over some.
A very pleasant good evening to you as we welcome you inside the Tower Grill on the campus of Arizona Christian University for the Storm Report, season number 2, episode number 11. Another action-packed program here. Joining us on the set will be KeyVaugh Williams of the men's basketball team. Mikah Blackwell also joins us for the men's basketball team, number 3 in the country, 8-1. So we're going to talk a little hoops with the fellas. And we'll also talk some round ball on the ladies' side of things. Rusty Rogers will join us on the set in segment number 2. And we'll talk with a couple of Alyssas. Alyssa Marin will be on the program along with Alyssa Alvarez. We're going to keep it a lot of basketball here this afternoon, and we are delighted you can be with us. I'm your show host, Kevin Derryberry. My broadcast partner on the other end is Edward Cole. I call him Edward tonight. Edward, how are you this evening, sir?
Kevin, how are you, Mr. Derryberry?
We're doing fantastic. Mikah Blackwell joined us. Mikah, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And, of course, the elder statsman, the veteran of the ACU basketball team, and he has earned every pinstripe that he has received. This is KeyVaugh Williams, the pride of Deer Valley High School. Welcome, Key.
Appreciate it.
How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
We're doing fantastic. Well, let's just start first and foremost. What did you guys think about the idea of being selected the number 1 team in the country? Granted, it was preseason. Granted, it doesn't mean anything. But just that notoriety that you guys have earned in a preseason capacity. What do you think about that, Key?
It was obviously cool. You know what I'm saying? It's never been done in school history.
Sure.
But at the same time, we were trying to balance it from, being humble and still being hungry and going to earn our rank on our own. So, yeah.
Okay. How about you, Mikah? What was your thought? Just that distinction.
That's the main reason why I came here. To compete, and I knew the program was doing very well, and I knew they'd win. So, that was kind of like the primary reason why I wanted to come here. So,
and you could be what they call the missing link in some cases, right? Part of that puzzle.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, Mikah, what are you liking about the program so far? I know you came over from Copper Mountain College over in California. What do you like about the situation here, your role here with the Firestorm? I know you're only about 9 games into the season. You got a long way to go, but through your first 9 games, do you like what you're doing so far? Like what you're seeing as far as the program?
Yeah, of course. I'm learning. Every day in practice, I'm learning. I got guys around me that's better than me in every aspect. Shooting, dribbling, rebounding. You got a little bit of everything on this team. So I'm just glad I get the chance to learn from everybody. So that's my favorite part about being part of this program.
And what are some intangibles that you bring to the program that it may not have had?
I know they have similar players to me. I know I get compared to Xander from last year. I get a lot of comparisons to him. But I bring in a lot of rebounding, finishing, just a lot of grit on defense. That's one of my main things is being a defender. So whatever I can bring to the team, whatever coach needs from me, whatever the players need from me, I try to do that.
Well, we've definitely seen some energy. We've seen you work on the boards,
yeah.
And we've seen that ability up towards the rim. I want to get to that in a second. But, KeyVaugh, I wanted to ask you, being that you've been around a long time, you've seen this program. You played at Fultz Memorial Gymnasium. You played inside the ACU Event Center. You've seen some history on this campus. From your first years here playing ball for Coach Rudder, what are some of those things that you've seen change over the course of time?
Well, obviously the campus is completely different. I just think just the program itself has just gotten better every year. I came in, and I think before I got here, ACU was okay. They were just pretty good. And then I got here the first year, went to Elite 8, and then the next year went in the conference tournament, and then another regular season champion. Got to go to the Final Four last year. So I just feel like over time, we're constantly growing, evolving, and just getting better for that one goal.
One of the things I was talking to your high school basketball coach, Jed Dunn, buddy of all of ours, and we were talking about your game, how you've gotten better from one game to the next, from one year to the next. But another part of your game that I don't know if we talk about enough is just the cerebral approach that you play with, just how smart you are on the court. Where do you gain that ability from? Is it film study? Is it is it playing 2K, 23? How are you becoming such a gifted player and so smart out there on the floor?
I think just starting off in my younger years, just playing for so long, playing competitive at that. I've always played club basketball, been able to play for Coach Dunn at varsity level for 3 years, got to come here, be varsity right away. So I think just kind of being thrown in the fire a lot, not being the biggest, strongest, fastest person, got to find other ways to adapt to the game and make an impact. So I think just kind of my adaptability, I'd say that.
Outstanding. And you certainly earned all those minutes that you're getting.
I was going to ask you about that, Key. This is your season 5. You're upping your minutes and all of your numbers. You're up to about 25 minutes a game. As far as you coming off the bench, of course, you started the last a couple games with Angelo out with an injury. What's your approach to you being the starter now? When Angelo comes back, I'm sure things will change. But being the starter, having that role as opposed to being a reserve and coming off the bench and being one of the bigger players to come off the bench, does your mentality change being a starter as opposed to coming off the bench being a reserve?
I wouldn't say my mentality. Like, whenever I go into a game, I'm just trying to make my teammates better. So, I mean, as a starter now, it's kind of like start us off right to where our bench guys can come in and keep the same energy as we're usually I'm the one coming in either, you know what I'm saying, if we're down, get us back right, or if we're up, keep that lead. So I wouldn't say the mentality changes. Just now I'm the one who gets to come out a little bit with that fire and try to get us going quickly.
And how important is it to have a strong bench to come off and, as you mentioned, continue to keep that energy that the starters usually have?
It's very important. I mean, I think we're probably one of the deepest teams in the country, in my opinion. Like preseason, Coach Rudder talked to me about lineups, and he had about 10 of us he wanted to start. So he wasn't sure at first. And I think that's just going to make us better in the long run. I mean, we're constantly, when guys go down, we have a guy step up. We had a pretty good win over Hope without AJ. So I thought that was a pretty good win for us as a team, just knowing that we have guys that can come in and fill roles and just play their part. So, yeah.
KeyVaugh, we've seen you come off the bench. We've seen you start. You're a ball distributor. You're a plus defender. You can shoot the 3 when you have to, and you can also take it to the 10. What's your favorite part of the game? What do you like to do the most?
Passing for sure. I like to see my guys get involved, see them going. Like you guys got guys like Paul, James, Dom, Trent. Like those guys can get hot in a hurry. Yeah. So I mean, any way I can get them involved, I'm looking for that. Especially with Bryce and Mikah too, getting around the rim, just making sure they get love. So yeah.
Like Saturday, some backdoor cuts to Paul Hayden. That happened on numerous occasions.
Yes, sir.
Backdoor cut. That's always a great play. For Mikah Blackwell, we were alluded to the bounce, if you will. And we know that Mikah Blackwell was the preseason dunk champion for Arizona Christian University. I don't know how many people know that, but we're talking elite leaps. And so dunking the basketball with one hand, 2 hands, whatever. But it's the follows that have been most impressive in my eyes, Mikah. Take us through the moment. It's all timing. And it's not something that you can really practice, or can you? But you've had a knack to put a couple big-time follows down that have been what I call highlight reel basketball plays.
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, I actually practice those at a young age. I can kind of see how the ball's coming off. Mm-hmm. I've always been good at that. Always had the knack to just see how the ball is rotating, where it's going to hit, when to go get it. But the putbacks, those are all planned. I can see that.
You're reading that, Karen. Yeah. You're reading and reacting.
I can see that. He's not boxing out. I'm gonna go get that. So yeah, I can see those.
Spectacular. It is a lot of fun, Ed. You got to go back and look at some footage because there's some highlight reel stuff.
No,
I got you.
I will go back and look at it.
Send it to me as well.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! So when it comes to dunks, Mikah, you're out there. You're winning a slam dunk championship. When you're there, you said you just kind of make this stuff up on the fly as far as your dunks are concerned. When you stand there and you look at the basket, what kind of goes through your mind as to what you want to do as far as the dunk is from one dunk to the next?
I mean, I'm able to jump pretty high, but I've seen some guys really do some crazy stuff when it comes to dunking. I'm still level 1, level 2. I'm not up there with the great dunkers, but windmill is probably my go-to. So I'm just throwing it up as high as I can just to go get it. But really on the fly, I haven't worked on any crazy stuff yet, and I kind of beat myself up for not, because I have the ability to. But I'm not there yet. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I think Ed mentioned it's still early in the season, right? Yeah. We're 9 games into this, so that time will come, especially as the competition starts to heat up. Mm-hmm. And speaking of some competition that heats up, how about Ottawa? What do you guys have you started to begin to look at some film for the Spirit and prepare in that way of taking on another in-state rival here Thursday evening?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's just another team. We got to go out. We got to play aggressive. We got to start aggressive. They're a really talented team. They got some athletic people. They got guys who can knock it down. But right now we're just preparing for them, just like preparing for any other game.
Key, your thoughts on the Spirit?
Yeah, for sure. We know they're going to want to come in and get a dub on us. It'll probably, if we were to lose, it would get them ranked for the first time. We know they're going to come out hard. They play fast. That's their little motto. We know they're going to be playing extremely hard. So, yeah, just kind of taking that punch, doing what we're supposed to do, and just play how we play, and we should get the victory.
Well, Kevin, they've held court at home 7-0 so far this season. Mikah, just the home court advantage of being at the ACU Event Center, just a few steps away from where we are right there. How great is it to have that venue and the crowd that you have there and the love and support that you guys have every time you step on the court?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. From being recruited here, I've seen pictures of it. Never knew how small it really was till I got here. But I think that's for sure a big up that we have is the crowd there, our families there. Right behind us as well on our bench, we have supporters just everywhere, right on top of you, and I'm pretty sure it's hard for the other team just as well. So I love it, 100%. Yeah.
KeyVaugh, what do you think about the home court advantage? I mean, over the years, I don't have it in front of me. Of course, I use it on the broadcast. 41-7, I think, if memory serves, inside the event center. That's a pretty impressive number.
Yeah, playing at home is always, good for us. We have our people there. It gets loud sometimes. If it gets packed in there, it gets really loud. And I think we've grown to play better in big games and heated situations. We've played through some adversity already and came back. So yeah, I think being at home just adds a little more comfortability. Sure.
Key, being one of the OGs, how have you grown as a man in year 5 in this program and on this campus?
I think I'm just constantly maturing. Like when I came in, I kind of was do what you can, don't do too much. You know what I'm saying? So year by year, just adding things in my game, moves, just kind of being someone that everyone could come to. There's a lot of times in practice where guys are asking me about plays, certain players, how to guard certain stuff. So I think if I'm talking about my growth, it's just overall just my mentality, how I prepare for stuff, how I can help guys out, and things like that. Yeah.
Key, what do you see in the young buck, and Mikah, what do you see in the OG?
I'll start. So
right there, that is
I think I'm
senior
older than him.
leadership at its best right there.
You are older than him?
I believe so.
Okay.
You're already 23?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he older than me.
Okay.
But it don't matter.
I'm
I'm going first. So Mikah is probably one of the hardest players I ever played with, hands down. There's never a moment where I got to tell, Mikah to turn it up. You know what I'm saying? He plays with that edge all the time. He's really versatile, to be honest. He could guard the opposing team's 1, and he can guard the opposing team's 5. So I think that's where a lot of his value comes as well. I think offensively, when he gets going, he's unstoppable as well. There's no one who could jump with him if we want him to go dunk on somebody. His 3-ball is constantly evolving. We were working on that all summer. And I think his mentality as well, he's not scared of nothing. I've seen how many times you got cut this year? He's getting cuts in the head. His lips constantly getting busted. He's always in the fire, but you never see it affect him. So I think that his mentality of just going after it is also what's really big for our team.
So you guys are taking shots. We've seen Bryce Davis take some shots to the dome. Some bows are flying. It's been a physical style play against you. Number 1 in the country, right? Number 3 in the country this week. Everybody is going to try to give you their best shot. What's that feeling like? Because that's only going to make you guys better in the long run, I think.
For sure. I mean, we know we got a target on our back. We're not running from it. I think John Marin said we run up the chimney. We don't go away from smoke. So yeah, just knowing that there's a target on our back and that we want that. I think personally we play really well in the big games. So I mean, I think most of the guys would agree that we're not scared of nobody. When we play well, we think we can compete with anybody. So yeah. You've
played it in Kansas City at Municipal Auditorium. Think about that experience last year in the the Final 8, right? Do you recall that experience and stepping on the court and maybe how you've become better since that moment?
Yeah, I think just knowing how surreal it is and how once in a lifetime it is. I remember sitting in the locker room with Robbie after our Final 4 loss, just taking it all in, realizing that was it for him. So I think this year, obviously the plan is to get back, but I don't want any of my guys to have to feel what we felt last year.
Like it, Ed Cole.
Yeah. Mikah, how great would it be to bring this team another GSAC championship and hopefully put the team in a better position than they were last year? Key already talked about the heartbreak of not winning the championship last year, but how great would it be to get them to the mountaintop and get them to a champion, get your team to a championship?
I mean, yeah. Recently, my dad, he texted me saying, "Hey, go for that national championship," and that meant everything to me. I think I've been through a lot, made it coming here, and that's our main goal right now. That's why I came here, because I feel like ACU could really, buckle down and go get that. So I've seen their rings, seen their conference championship rings. I need me one.
Mm-hmm.
I need two, by the way. So I need that one, and we need the national. We just need it, and we're going to do whatever we got to do to get there. So.
I know we got to wrap this up, but Mikah, have you done any voice work or whatnot? I tell you what, I say this all the time because it's voice recognition. But Ed,
yes,
Mikah Blackwell has some pipes, does he not?
Yes, he does.
My goodness,
yeah.
Can't teach that stuff right there, Mikah. Sounds good. Sounds really good. Hey, fellas, continued success to you guys. Big one. We get Ottawa in the gym inside the ACU Event Center, 7:30 tip on Thursday night. If you can't make it in the gym, it's going to be standing room only, and I know there's tickets are at a premium for OUAZ, so secure your tickets early. We're asking the fans to get in there, support the number 3 team in all the land in Arizona Christian University basketball. We're going to keep it round ball themed. We're going to talk with Rusty Roger. Straight ahead, the men's basketball coach joins us straight ahead on the Storm Report. Did I say men's? We welcome you back inside the Tower Grill on the campus of Arizona Christian University. I'm Kevin Derryberry alongside my broadcast partner, Mr. Ed Cole. Joining us on the main stage is Rusty Rogers of the ACU women's basketball team. Just making sure if somebody got crossed up there. I was so excited to see the fellows on set with KeyVaugh Williams. Special thank you to Key and, of course, Mikah Blackwell, outstanding guest. But Coach Rogers, congratulations on the win. Let's start off right there. Winners win 80-60. And for you and the men, ACU has combined 15 straight over the Hawks. You got it done Saturday, 80-60. Congratulations, Coach.
Thanks. It was one of those much-needed wins again. We seem to win one and lose two, win one and lose two, and hopefully we can break that trend here coming forward.
Well, how do you do that? How do you overcome the obstacle of the slow start, we'll say?
It's been a real challenge this year. A lot of key personnel changes, and we're very young. I mean, we have 2 seniors on our roster and 2 juniors, and the rest are freshmen and sophomores. So at my age, I want to win now because, time's running out. But got to keep pinching myself and telling myself, this is a tough conference, and we've got youth, beyond youth, and it's a learning process. But I really feel like our last 2.5 games, I'm seeing some things, and today we had a really good practice. I think I really believe that we're taking the turn here, and I think good things are ahead of us.
Well, with the grace of the good Lord, patience is going to be paramount.
Absolutely,
for you, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's patience, and that's what I keep praying for. Give me patience. Give me patience.
Coach, what do you like about the youth of your basketball team? How are those younger ladies coming along?
We got a lot of talent. It hasn't translated into the games as easy as I thought it would. But our perimeter shooters are all shooting much worse in games than they are in practices, and we've been getting a big lift from our inside players. Otherwise, we'd probably be shooting below 30% as a team. So just kind of waiting for that switch to flip and those kids to get enough experience where they have that confidence, where they miss one and it doesn't phase them on their next shot. And right now, that's where we're struggling right now with that confidence factor. But I'm with them every day in practice, and I see things, and I see them I see that ball go through the hoop more often than not, and then it just blows my mind in games how we struggle to get the ball through the net. But again, I really feel like we're turning a corner. So we'll see what goes forward from here.
So it's really, I'm sorry, Kevin. So is it pretty much really all a mental game? Because we know the young ladies, they've got the physical talents. It's just they've got to be able to turn that switch on inside their heads.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very much a mental state for us right now. Playing hard, playing tough, playing together, communication, some of those things, all those things actually require you to really get to know your teammates and move it to a different level. And we're just getting to that stage. I mean, I brought the team together today, and I saw some things in practice today we haven't seen all season long in terms of communication and, helping the helper and all those kind of little things that mean so much in the game of basketball. I think we're finally starting to figure it out. So my fingers are crossed.
Two good things. One is that you have the luxury of time in this case. The season's early enough for you to make those tweaks and fine-tune at the early stages of conference play. Obviously, you played two of the top teams in the nation to open up conference play, and those were some tough draws. But and you credit the other teams, too, right? This is a tough conference. We know that. But you elaborate on the things that you're pulling through, and you see them kind of coming around the corner. What are some things in specific that you place emphasis on in practice the last couple of days since you had that big win by 20 on Saturday?
Well, the focus is on defense, and we can score. I mean, we scored 80 and we scored 95 the other night, and we can put the ball in the basket against even the best teams. It's just stopping people right now, and that requires a lot of synergy that we just don't have right now defensively. I talked about helping the helper and being in the right position at the right time. And then our transition defense has really taken a step back, too. We're just not sprinting back. And just the little things, I think, that kids that go from high school to college don't realize the importance of. The speed of the game.
It's an adjustment, right?
It absolutely is. Even though we're a small college and we got kids coming from big schools, big high schools, it's still an adjustment. It's physical and it's fast. And we are finally playing some physical basketball. If you've seen our games in the last 2 or 3 games, you've seen that we're not getting knocked around as much as we had been in the first 6 games. And I feel like we're dishing out some stuff, too. And it's really nice to see that we're holding our own and just playing harder. I mean, loose balls, kids are getting down on the floor. They're really starting to show some pride in what they're doing. It's been rewarding for me to see. It's got to translate into a winning streak. Right. We haven't had a winning streak yet all season.
But they've turned the level up. They've turned that dial up. You've asked for it, and they've kind of bought into that thus far.
Without question. There's no doubt about it. And I think that's the biggest challenge for a young team, and that's the challenge that we're facing.
Is the buy-in, Coach? That's the biggest challenge? Is part of that?
Oh, yeah. And just going out there every day in practice and doing it, and then you can't turn it on, turn it off in this game, especially this level. And then we were kind of coasting through our practices, and what we were doing in practice was, what we were doing in games, and it doesn't work that way.
You talked about holding your own, Coach, on Saturday against San Diego, 27-7, plus 20 on the bench points, plus 18 on the rebounds. So those two are going to be key, along with, you talk about with your defense and scoring, but bench points, getting solid bench play, and being able to crash those boards, 18 offensive rebounds. If you can get that on a consistent basis, you'll be in good shape.
Yeah, and we haven't been able to do that. So, a big factor that I look at our offensive rebounds, or the opponent's offensive rebounds, and how many turnovers we had. And we've been averaging over 30 a game, well over 30. And to me, that's 30-plus possessions that we're giving away every game. And to overcome that is really, really difficult with a young team. So, teams are getting 18 to 20 offensive rebounds on us, and we're turning the ball over 25 times. And there's 40 to 45 possessions that we're losing, and yet we're still battling. So, in the big picture, you got to take it into context. In the big picture, we've been facing some challenges that have kind of been self-imposed to a degree, with the turnovers especially, but we still fight, and we still, we give a good fight with everybody. Even the Westmont and the Masters, we played, especially Masters. We had the lead for a good half of that game and just couldn't finish. So, yeah, those are kind of the barometers I'm looking at.
And you're seeing some signs, though. You're seeing signs of coming out.
No doubt. And, you're going to talk to Alyssa Marin, for example, here coming up. And Alyssa was out of the game for 3 years with injuries. And she is just now showing signs of the reason why I recruited her. I mean, she's had 3 fabulous games in a row, rebounding and scoring.
Double digits in all 3, by the way.
Yeah, and just her confidence is soaring. When confidence soars, your leadership soars. I mean, I think she's really turned a corner too, and we just need that veteran leadership with such a young squad.
And the other Alyssa, Miss Alvarez, that's back there. Hey, Alyssa. Ladies, what do you like about her?
She's the best offensive player I've ever coached in my life, and I've been coaching for 39 years, and I've coached quite a few All-Americans and Players of the Year in the country. And she's just, I think her biggest challenge this year is just so many new faces on the team, and what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses. She had 3 of the greatest passes I've ever seen today in practice. I just stop and drop my whistle and like, whoa. I mean, and that's a good sign. She's starting to know what other teammates are capable of and where they are on the court. And so it's been, you're going to be talking to her, but I'm sure it's been a frustrating 9 games for her just getting to know her new teammates. And I really believe that she's learned quite a bit, and I think we're ready to take the next step even with Alyssa Alvarez.
Well, last year, Alyssa you knew coming in she was going to be a prolific scorer. And I remember talking to her on this very set, and she said, hey, I need to be able to facilitate more. I need to be more of a distributor. And I think I looked at her numbers. I think she had almost 125 assists a year ago, led the team in scoring with over 20 points a ball game, and was an NAIA All-American. So I think she answered the bell in that regard. How did that work as far as the dynamic of getting that group together and now segueing into this year in a similar manner almost?
Well, Alyssa is a smart player, and she knows that, there's going to be nights where she's going to be off, and those nights we usually lose by 20 last year. And this year, I think we have the nucleus, we have the potential to help her a little bit more. Consequently, she doesn't need to score as much, and that allows her to show her other talents because she has a full bag of talents. Let me tell you, and that kind of manifests itself in rebounding and assists and those kinds of things. And she just facilitates so well, also. But we've been so reliant on her for the last 40 games just to score, and that's a big burden to take. And our last game last year, we lost by 1 in the playoffs, and she had an off game. I mean, she was drawing a lot of attention, double teams, triple teams, and we just had no one else that was even capable of stepping up. And this year, I feel like we're grooming some kids that can put the ball in the basket, and we've got almost 4 double-figure scorers right now in the stat column. So it's a different dynamic.
One of those is youngster Graciela Ribala. So she's She's out of Hamilton. Nice game against San Diego Christian for sure.
She's been struggling percentage-wise. Her percentages are as low as I've ever seen them. I think she's just kind of trying to take on too much. But the girls, she's just set the school record for free throw shooting. I think she's 21 for 21 this year. She's just a deadly shooter and been just a little bit too streaky, I think, for her own taste. But she's capable. I've seen her in practice. She can really shoot the ball, and then she's just a fireball on defense. So she's a big part of what we got going on here.
And that was part of the recruiting process. You needed a lockdown defender, someone that could come in there and play both sides of the ball. By the way, for Graciela, 42 for 42 from the line. That's pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very good.
That's good.
Yes, for sure.
Coach, you used the word dynamic, talking about the ladies building that bond. Do you see the ladies talking during practices, kind of, as you mentioned, trying to get to know their sisters and trying to build that camaraderie and that friendship and that sisterhood?
Well, from the first 3 weeks of the season till today, I saw more talking today than I saw in the first 3 weeks of the season. I think they're starting to get to know each other. They spent time together. We've been on a couple of road trips together. That stuff takes a little bit longer to develop, especially on the women's side, and I think it's happening. They're huddling up in the middle of practice. They're communicating. They're helping each other around the defensive calls and the offensive calls, just getting each other in the right proper position, and it's starting to happen. And really, this is no coincidence. Today was probably our best practice in terms of some of those things that I've been waiting for. So I'm in a really good mood right now.
That's
and
outstanding.
I think we're ready to roll.
That's good.
It seemed like in the last couple of weeks we've got ACU football in Morningside or the Nebraska area. It's 25 degrees, and then I think maybe the basketball team was on the beach somewhere in the last month
that's
or
right.
so too. So you've been traveling with it. You're working on that chemistry and that development.
Absolutely.
And that's outstanding. Quick one before we let you go. We have Ottawa in the barn on Thursday night. I believe you guys will tip it up at 5 o'clock. Again, we're saying, hey, get your tickets early. We want to jam up the event center and really support these young ladies. And, of course, the men will be right after that. But a quick thought on Ottawa. And you guys have a nice little win streak going against those.
Ottawa, hands down, the most improved team in our conference. And Coach Whittington, he's been a winner all his life in his second year. So we absolutely can't take them lightly. I know they believe that, they got one when they play us. And I feel like we're more athletic, and hopefully we can dictate the tempo of that game. That's going to be the critical thing. But the much improved team. They got a couple of freshmen that have really contributed quite a bit. I think they have 5 or 6 wins already this year. So it's going to be a challenge for us. And, it's a rivalry game.
Yes.
So in our place. So no holds barred. We're going after it. And I'm hoping that we finish up on top. I believe we can, but it's not going to be easy.
Right. I'm excited for that one as well.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if he won 10 of the last 10 of 11
That's
games
right.
against them. Rivalry games, when the referee throws that ball up, all that stuff goes out the window.
Yeah, that's right.
does.
That's right. That's the beauty of a rivalry. Just don't even talk to me about Ohio State and Michigan. But anyway, yeah, exactly.
Coach, boy, I tell you what, the Browns got it done for you. Where did that defense come from yesterday? That was incredible, right? But I got to say this before we bring the ladies on, because we're going to talk with both Alyssas. But what in the world are you thinking with Deshaun Watson as your quarterback right now? That's a head scratcher. Just give the ball to Nick Chubb, please. Just give the ball to Nick Chubb. Thank you.
Absolutely. He's a great one.
I don't know what they're doing. Rusty Rogers has been our guest. Again, we look forward to everybody being inside the event center on Thursday night. ACU in Ottawa at Center Stage. Don't go away. We're going to talk with Alyssa Alvarez and Alyssa Marin straight ahead on the Storm Report. We welcome you back to the Storm Report from the Tower Grill. It's season number 2, episode 11, for the 4th day of December. It is our first and only show in the month of December, so we wish everybody a happy holidays going forward. Joining us on the program, Alyssa Alvarez, the pride of Scottsdale, Arizona, Horizon High, and, of course, Alyssa Marin from Surprise, Arizona. Welcome, ladies. How are you tonight?
Good. How are you?
We're doing fantastic. Fresh off a win. right? I always like to say winners win. Last time you guys took the court, 80-60 victory. What was that like, that feeling of victory?
It felt really good. I feel like we were in a slump for a while. We were playing a bunch of teams where we felt like we could win, but we couldn't make it happen. So I think it was like a breath of fresh air.
How about you, Alyssa?
Honestly, it's like she said, a breath of fresh air is coming off of all the games we've been losing, and then going into Ottawa on Thursday definitely will be a big impact for either team since we're all in the same conference together.
Right.
It's a big rally up there.
It's a huge tilt come Thursday at Cole.
Let's see if I can juggle this Alyssa thing since there's two of them. This Alyssa right here. Coach Rogers talked about you have a new team, a lot of new young ladies in. So how are you adjusting? I know it's you're still getting to know the young ladies. How are you adjusting to all of your new sisters and a new situation and a new team through your first 9 games?
The adjustment hasn't really been that hard. We all get along very well, even on and off the court. The biggest thing for me this year is not playing that point guard position and using my other abilities like assist abilities and trusting my teammates. But other than that, we've just been coming together as a family at the end of the day.
Are the younger ladies getting the system and kind of getting the way that things run in your program?
Yeah, they look up to Alyssa, Marin. They look up to me. We all talk to each other. We just uplift each other every practice, every game, no matter what.
Alyssa, Marin, if you would, tell us about your health, because a year ago this time when you were on the show, you were kind of just tiptoeing your way through around the court, and you're just getting back from an injury. So how is your health now? And we can see by the numbers and the way that Coach Rogers kind of raved about you, that's a little bit, the girl that he recruited is finally here on campus and healthy. So congratulations for that. But how are you feeling now?
I'm feeling really good. I feel like I've been out for so long. And then even when I came back last year, I still kind of felt a little shaky. I felt like I wanted to rush it because I was just so excited to get back.
Sure.
But I feel like this year I've really just focused on getting better, strengthening my knee, and coming back strong. First couple games, I felt a little off, but I think these last games, I do feel like the Alyssa Marin that he did recruit, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Is it safe to say that you kind of had to relearn how to channel your nerves and that game vibe?
Yeah, 100%. Actually, the first 5 games, I was extremely nervous, and I felt very frantic. You could probably even ask her. I was just, running all over, just chucking up shots, and I feel like the last 3 games, I've been more under control, calm, just trusting my teammates and having fun, really.
That's awesome.
Miss Marin, how do you keep your mentality? Because I'm sure there's a million thoughts that go through your mind through practices, and once game day comes, you're on the court and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to focus on this. I've got to focus on that. I've got to hope I can play this well. I've got to rebound. I've got to run up the court. I've got to shoot. I've got to distribute the ball. How do you keep all your mentality straight and everything compartmentalized?
Yeah, so it's really difficult, but I think one thing that I've practiced this season is just visualization. So just before my game, visualize what I need to do and what I can do, and then just every moment that I have, just do what I can, and then if I forget something, next play, I can't worry about, oh, I missed this or I missed this shot. Just do what's at hand, and I think that's what's kind of helped me.
Alyssa Alvarez, I wanted to ask you, 4-year starter at Horizon. I watched you play when you were a youngster there. I had the privilege of doing some PA for you. And here at ACU, the ultimate team game is basketball, as all sports are. But for you, an NAIA All-American a year ago, in a season that you were asked to do different things that were somewhat unorthodox for you, but you turned it into a magnificent season. Congratulations to you for that, because I know it is something that comes from team success, that individual honor. What was it like when they said, you saw your name as an All-American with your past and your journey getting to this level? It had to be pretty pleasing to you.
Honestly, when I first saw I was All-American, it was I didn't really feel anything inside of me, and then I saw all my teammates uplifting me and telling me hey, you're All-American, congrats, all this. But I wouldn't be an All-American without them.
Of course.
I wouldn't be where I'm at without my team, without my family, and the people supporting me. So it's all grace to God and everybody around me.
Absolutely.
Miss Alvarez, going back to Horizon High School, you played under Coach Young and your father. Am I correct in looking at your bio?
Yes.
What was that like, playing under your pops?
He is my hero. He's the biggest person in my life. All his struggles, his sacrifices. He pushed me every single day, and coming from that to a foundation where I'm being pushed every day from my teammates, it's just different.
Alyssa, Marin, who'd you play for at Shadow Ridge High School? Who was your coach?
So, gosh, that program was an interesting one. So I played my senior year for Coach Reschke.
Okay.
But it was Coach Tracty, but it was like the program was very shaky. So,
Okay,
yeah.
fair enough. That's past tense. It doesn't matter because last year you were a GSAC scholar athlete. So despite the challenges that you were having trying to get on the court, you were still producing and getting it done in the classroom. So that's quite an achievement right there.
Thank you.
GSAC scholar athlete right there. Scholar baller.
Scholar baller.
Scholar baller. All right, so Alyssa, last 3 games, 10, 22, and 15. You're feeling better. You're seeing the ball go through the hoop. That visualization that you talked about, it's coming to fruition. It's happening right now. It's a reality.
Yes. Yeah, it feels great. It feels super good.
Right on.
Yeah.
Alyssa, what do you think about you seeing this your teammate, go
nice
through
and
her,
succinct, right?
her
Short and
challenges, right? She's had some challenges off the court, but you're seeing her now step up.
Oh,
It's on you.
sorry. No, actually, I'm actually very proud of her. I grew up playing with her actually before even this. So just seeing her growth and seeing her mentality where she came from, like I'm so proud of her. And I tell her like before every game, like just stay calm, let the game come to you. You know, because if I have a bad game, she's there for me. If she has a bad game, I'm gonna be there for her.
Mm-hmm.
I was asking some of the fellas what their favorite part about the game of basketball is. What's the one part that puts a smile on your face? Alyssa, I'll start with you. And then Alyssa, Marin could answer secondly.
Honestly, I think the fans in the crowd and how they react to everything and our teammates off the bench and their reactions to like plays.
Nice.
That's what really rallies up everything for me.
The fans, I like it. Great answer.
Yeah, she kind of took mine. I was just going to say energy. So I feel like when we were playing Hope International, it was a super close game, and our bench and even the people on the floor just had great energy, super loud. And when the bench is super hype, it makes us want to work harder on the floor, vice versa, and just cheering everybody on. It's just a great feeling.
Ed, there's something about the event center and a home court advantage for Arizona Christian. It's a thing. Right?
It is.
Tim Gosen, it's a thing. Got a thumbs up from
Yeah,
Tim.
it's a thumbs up.
All right.
I was expecting a verbal response, but okay, there you go. Miss Marin, Coach Rogers talked about the team getting tougher as the season goes on, as far as your tenacity and you're just being more aggressive throughout your first 9 games. I guess your 10th coming up with Ottawa. How have you seen this team get stronger and get more aggressive when it comes to the basketball? Is it developing more in practice? Are you guys talking about it off the court about how you can be stronger and be more physical as far as these games go?
Yeah, I think it all starts in practice, and there's been a bunch of great girls, just like, for instance, Reagan is always working super hard, Emily Till. Like, there's a bunch of girls who are just really pushing us to make us better. And then I think, sadly, the fact that we are losing, we kind of are like, all right, we need to win, so we need to step it up. Things need to change. So I feel like we are progressing, and each game we're getting better and better, more aggressive, and we're seeing good results. So we kind of want to keep going in that same direction.
Miss Alvarez, plus 20 on the bench play in the last game against San Diego. Do you like that your bench is coming off and they're making things happen and their energy level is just as high as yours?
I love that. We actually have been winning our close games because of the bench. And when the starters or even the players that get most points off the bench, like we all come together. Energy's there no matter what. We're just all on the same page.
Alyssa, I see that you have this passion and an affinity for sports management and a sports management type career. How do you envision yourself, and what do you see for you? What would be that dream role?
For the sports management, I want to open my own gym, my own basketball gym, run tournaments there. I also someday want to be a trainer.
Okay.
And wherever God leads me, I just want to give my talents and what I have knowledge-wise for basketball, give it to other people.
Give it back.
And Alyssa, I think you could hire Miss Marin because she wants to be a physical therapist. Is that
Yes.
still your dream,
Yes,
Alyssa?
yes, that is. Yep.
Okay, then you guys can work together
Yep.
even once you guys graduate.
Double A's.
Yeah, she's stuck with me for life.
Physical therapy, why?
I've always been interested in that, and then I had my injury, and then I had to go to physical therapy, and I was seeing how the physical therapists, like their day-to-day life, what they do, and I was like, this is something that I can see myself doing. And then I got an opportunity over the summer to work in a clinic, and I really enjoy it, so I think I want to pursue it.
It's awesome.
We've talked to both Mikah Blackwell and KeyVaugh Williams and Rusty Rogers about the Spirit from Ottawa University. I'm sure you ladies are familiar with this program. And we play them. Actually, ACU hosts them. I didn't say we. I didn't mean we. I wasn't part of the team. But the ladies host OUAZ Thursday night. And so, as I've asked everybody else, your thoughts on the rivalry and what's the vibe for you, Alyssa, Marin, as we prepare for the Spirit?
I really want to win bad. Shout out to Sedona Anderson. She's actually a transfer from Ottawa. So I feel like I want to win for her too. I want her to get some good playing time. Just really blow them out the water. I think we have the same record right now in conference.
Yeah, I think we're tied with Ottawa.
Yeah, so
it's a big game.
It's a big
game. Big game.
It's a swing game.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But you want to continue to string along victories, right?
Exactly,
Yes.
right.
Yeah, you don't want to go win, loss, win, loss. You got to go win, all the way out.
Win.
And that game, really, it sets you up, really. I mean, you can go back-to-back victories right there. That would really kind of propel you to continue conference play because we know the schedule's going to get a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
And you've already played two of the top teams in the country. What were some experiences you took away from this young team, Westmont and the Masters?
The biggest thing that our team took out is just staying together. You know, whether we're down by a lot or up by a lot, we're there as a team, and there's nothing against us losing against them at all. We came together, and then we're moving forward. Whether the loss is by 20 or more, we're still fighting and battling every day.
You're battling that adversity together as a team.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, ladies, we thank you for your achievement of getting the victory and coming on with us. And good luck on Thursday night as Ottawa comes on in. We wish you guys a victory. Get 2 in a row.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
By the
That's
way,
the plan.
before we part ways, Alyssa Marin, second on the team in scoring with 11.8 points game, and Alyssa Alvarez, AA, right there at 11 points game. Top 3 in the scoring category. That's pretty good. As Rusty mentioned, you have 4 ladies in double digits. So that's some improvement right there. Mm-hmm. Congratulations, lady. We look forward to how things develop Thursday night. Let's jam the place at the AC Event Center. And that is going to conclude tonight's program. For J.D. Hamby, Devin Williams, our SID, Mr. Tim Gosen, Ed Cole, Alyssa Alvarez, Alyssa Marin, and for Mikah Blackwell, KeyVaugh Williams, and Rusty Rogers, I'm Kevin Derryberry. Until next time, so long for now.